Welcome back, everybody. Sorry I've been gone from YouTube for so long. I've been dealing with some unfortunate family issues for the past several months, which has chewed up pretty much all my free time, so the videos had to suffer. If you really miss me, still on the Twitch 2 days out of the week, links below for that. So today I'm going to show you how to paint some red armor, laminated red armor, and we're going to keep this very simple. No mixing involved here. We are just going to use 4 colors right out of the bottle pretty much, except for thinned, of course, where necessary. We're going to use Vallejo Game Color Evil Red, Nocturnal Red, Gory Red, and Scarlet Blood. We begin with the Evil Red, and this is a very violet colored red. It's always good to undercoat your reds with a violet color. It makes them look much more warm and rich. Step 2 and 3 are going to be coats of Nocturnal Red. And we do 2 coats to save a little time. First coat, as you can see, is heavily dry brushed on. This is mainly for coverage, and then once this is dry, we are going to go back and actually layer the exact same color over the Nocturnal Red. So Nocturnal Red over Nocturnal Red. And the reason we do this is when you build up multiple layers of colors, especially with red, they get richer and brighter. So a single coat you can see is kind of dull. There's still some of that violet showing through. And as we put on a second coat and a third coat or fourth coat, or how many ever you want to do, it gets brighter and brighter. Also, when we dry brush as opposed to layering, the paint doesn't cover up as well, so we get much better coverage doing the layering method. So we can leave the dry brushed Nocturnal Red in the recesses, give us a little bit of shadow, and then we have the layered Nocturnal Red above that to get us to our base coat. I am going for a dark red here. That's why we only have a minimum number of highlights, and this is the highlighting stage as well. Gory red, which I normally use as a base coat for a brighter red. And again, we use 2 coats here, building up the color and proceeding up into the upper areas of the miniature, smaller areas for the highlights. One last thing to note, always thin your paints. However, when you are working with most reds, they tend to be rather transparent by nature. So we don't have this as thinned as I would a different color like blue or green. This is probably like 2 to 1 water to paint, and that's about it. So it's not quite straight out of the bottle, but it's as thick as I'm comfortably using. And again, we can do that because the paint is inherently transparent, so we don't have to make it transparent by thinning it. Now I'm going to jump forward a little bit in the video just for cohesion's sake here. I'm going to apply an ink glaze. This is about 50-50 ink to water, fairly thick for a glaze. And I'm going to put red ink over all the red armor bits, and then red ink mixed with black for the recesses. The reason for this is when you put an ink over a paint, especially with red, it makes it very rich in color. If your reds are looking kind of dry and flat, just put a heavy glaze over them, and you'll get that red color much more a much more intense version of that red color. When you apply a heavy glaze like this, you are going to lose some of your contrast because your highlights are going to get darker and possibly your shadows are going to get lighter. However, I can get away with it here because first of all, you don't want a whole lot of contrast when doing red. You don't want to highlight it up to orange or yellow, for example. You want to keep it red. And the second reason I'm going to show you at the end of the video while we can get away with little contrast on this model. Next, we have some brassy bits to paint, and this is fairly simple. Very small areas here, so because they're so minimal, we don't have to put 5 or 6 highlights on these as well. Also, because we're using the metallic that has its own natural sheen to it, all we need is shade, base coat, and a wash, and that's it. For the trim bits and that wonderful mane of, I call it hair, I guess, we're going to go with a very dark violet color. Some people ask me how I come up with the colors that I use on a miniature, and lots of times they just kind of slot into place. In this case, we have that little bit of violet that we used in the red, so I'm just using that violet again, pure this time, on a different area of the miniature. So all our colors are tied together. We have violet in the red, and now we have more of a pure violet here. And by the way, while I have a moment here, explain why I did that glaze actually later than in the process when I was painting the actual armor. The reason why I put the glaze on later is because I had a whole bunch more of the miniature to paint. And if you screw up and get a little bit of excess paint on something that you've already glazed, it makes it much harder to fix it with that glaze on it. You can't just go back to your original base coat color anymore and use that. So you want to wait as far as you possibly can until applying a glaze, just in case you screw up, like I often do. This miniature has a whole bunch of little armored nubs, and I could have just left them red, but I wanted to break up the red a little bit. There is a lot of red on this miniature. And to paint these very teeny tiny little dots, I'm using silver because I'm assuming it's a metallic, and I mixed that with black and blue paint. The reason for that is because using metallic on its own, because it has a solid material in it, it's very difficult. It tends to be either blobby or runny. So by essentially thinning it or mixing it with paint, it becomes much more controllable and much easier to paint a very fine pattern like we're doing here. Onto the flamy sword, and I didn't want to do this red because I thought there was too much red on the miniature as it was, so I decided to go more with a purple color. If you're paying attention, you may notice that the sword is blue right now. I first did try blue and I realized it was the completely wrong direction to go. This light purple color ties much better into the miniature, especially with our red and our violet that we already used. If you are doing a flamy effect like this, you want to put down some sort of light undercoat first. I think I used an ivory or a light gray. And then I put on a very light purple color. I think it was the violet red mixed with white. And then I like to paint the ends of the flames first. So go darker towards the tips of the flames, and then blend the area in between. I find that much easier to get a smooth effect rather than continually adding more of our dark color and working our way towards the top. Basically pick your starting point, pick your end point, and then just blend the middle. And then for the source of our flame here, going to use a near pure white wash towards the bottom of the flame. So that's where it's red hottest or violet hottest, and going to a slightly darker color at the tips. The final thing to do on this miniature, and it's something I don't like doing, but I thought I'd just try it here. Because I wanted a laminated wood type of samurai armor look for this guy, decided after everything was finished and flat varnished, went back over the armor with some Vallejo Model Color satin varnish. This is obviously going to make the armor look more shiny. And the reason I don't normally like doing this is because when you put a gloss coat on something, it fights with the natural highlights that you've painstakingly painted on the miniature. So you have your pretend highlights that you painted in, and now the gloss is basically real highlights reflecting the light that's surrounding the miniature. Now, because red is a color that you don't want to over highlight, and we went with the darker red and minimize the highlights, I figured it would be okay to try here, even though it's not my favorite thing. And there we go, one red portly samurai. The red recipe I showed you here is pretty much my standard red recipe, a little bit on the darker side. What is not regular is the gloss, or in this case, satin varnish. It is much too glossy for my taste, and you can see as the miniature spins around how much light is being reflected off his belly and those shoulder pads. It's way too much. It's not horrible because I purposely minimize the highlights, but you can see it's just blocking everything. You can't see the shadows. Everything is way too glossy, and that's why I don't like glossing miniatures most of the time. I'd rather paint in the highlights than rely on real reflection. I can and maybe will flat varnish over the miniature again to get rid of the reflection. However, I like to show you, when I screw up, not just when I do a good job, and this is one of those cases. So I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. I'm going to try to get back to doing the videos, but everything's not resolved, unfortunately, so I will do my best, and I hope to see you soon. Again, find me on Twitch if you choose to go that route. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Mitchell, your eye on the sandwich. Mitchell, heart's pounding. Mitchell, veins clogging. Mitchell.